Mark was on a weekend getaway with his friends when they decided to explore an old abandoned asylum deep in the woods. Standing before the decaying building, they felt a foreboding chill in the air. Inside, the asylum was in disarray, furniture overturned, papers scattered everywhere. Graffiti covered the peeling walls, but Mark noticed odd symbols mixed in that he didn't recognize. They gave him an uneasy feeling. As the group ventured deeper, they began to hear whispering echoes. Mark saw shifting shadows in his peripheral vision, but nothing was there when he turned. The place felt wrong. Mark's friend James, always foolhardy, forged ahead of the group. Rounding a corner, he let out a startled yell, followed by a loud thud. The remaining friends raced to find him crumpled at the bottom of a stairwell. They rushed to help James, who lay unnaturally still, his neck bent at an odd angle. As they reached for him, James's eyes suddenly snapped open, glowing an eerie green. He spoke in a guttural voice. "You shouldn't have come." James's body started contorting, jerking violently. His friends backed away in horror as he levitated upwards, limbs bending in impossible directions with loud crunches. He let out an inhuman shriek. What had once been James now hovered before them, a grotesque humanoid form with jagged teeth and claws. It swooped at the terrified group, and they turned to run. They sprinted down debris-filled corridors, the creature gliding after them. It swiped at their backs with razor-sharp claws as they ran. They had to find a way out. Frantically, they searched for an exit, but many doors were chained shut or led to dead ends. The monstrous thing pursuing them seemed to know the asylum's maze-like halls perfectly. It herded them into a large room with strange symbols on the floor. Now trapped, the group huddled together as the creature descended upon them, savoring their fear. From the shadows, a robed figure emerged holding an ancient text. He began chanting in a strange language. The creature shrieked as if in pain, writhing in the air over the symbols. "Begone, demon!" the man shouted. The monster howled as black smoke poured from its body, dissolving it into nothingness. The robed stranger then turned to Mark and his friends. "Hurry, we must leave this cursed place," he urged, leading them from the room. "The spirits here are restless and hungry for living souls." Mark shuddered, glancing back into the darkness. They followed the stranger through a hidden passage and emerged outside. As they fled the grounds, Mark spotted figures floating behind the asylum's broken windows. Their exit hadn't gone unnoticed. Safely back home, Mark looked up the asylum's history. It had been shut down decades ago after reports of demonic possessions and rituals gone wrong. Many had lost their lives or souls to the evil that lurked within. Mark realized how close they'd come to being the asylum's next victims, another set of lost souls trapped for eternity. He destroyed the photos from the trip, wanting no evidence they were ever there. In the following days, Mark was plagued by nightmares of what dwelled inside the abandoned building, waiting for its chance to break free. The robed stranger had saved them, but for how long? Weeks later, Mark heard a news report that the abandoned asylum had burned to the ground. Locals claimed to see ghostly figures escaping into the woods as it collapsed into rubble. Mark knew the truth. The evil had been set loose into the surrounding countryside. He prayed it wouldn't find him or his friends as its next prey, but deep down, he feared it wasn't finished with them. On some dark, moonless nights, Mark still hears faint shrieks on the wind. He sees familiar glowing eyes watching from the shadows, halfway between this world and the next, waiting for him.